right, it is 9 o'clock on this Monday night. We are just days away from Christmas. I'm producer Chris.
Baby.
This is my paisan, Tony P. The
Listen.
P standing for pizza tonight, it looks like.
Oh, here we go. Do you gift, bro?
Do you gift, bro?
Do you gift? Because you know what? I gift. I'll tell you. And I dead gift. I bench gift. I do it all.
We need a closer look.
Look at that right there.
A closer look
Do
at
you even
this
gift?
ensemble,
Here we go.
if you will.
Look at the back. Hold
Let
on.
me see. Yeah.
Cut your right. Here's the back.
Beauty. She's a
Santa
beaut.
Fitness.
She's a beaut, Clark.
Woo. Oh yeah.
She's a beaut.
Listen, this is what Clark Griswold would have worn if it was an Italian
You just
movie.
had this in your closet?
No, so I was a couple weeks ago. I was out in Georgetown shopping around, getting some gifts for all my family and friends. I'm shipping it all home tomorrow when I go to Boston.
Right.
I'm putting it in the bottom of my bag. Hopefully, it'll be all secured and won't roll around too much. I have a plan for that. But when I'm looking around inside TJ Maxx, great bargain, by the way, great store there in Nordstrom Rack. I'm
Tony,
a fan
are you
of.
sponsored by TJ Maxx?
No.
You're just a fan?
I am, yes, I promise.
Understood.
Yes, I have integrity, you know. But I will say this. So I go into like, the men's section and they have like different like nice, long sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
And this is like wedged in the middle. I'm like, for $15? I'm like, yeah, give this to me. This is comfy. It's got a little kind of a velvet feel to it and Italian American, so I can kind of wear this with some pride.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always kind of been interested in the whole like, lifting culture, and I always kind of found this interesting. So, I kind of wear an 80s style jogger walking around doing the thing.
It's the tie with
Yeah, I know.
that really...
Well, I wanted to make, for some of our segments tonight, I want to be professional, so
understood, yeah.
I can
So
open
it's
it up
still-
like this, baby. You know?
The implication being that I am not professional as I am not wearing a tie. I can go put on a bolo tie. I have one.
Yes. Now listen, looks
save
like one
that
of our
for a
guests in
little
the green room has
Anyway,
a nice sweater.
Welcome to the Live Zone Primetime. As you
We're all
know,
over
this
the
is whatever's happening, we talk about,
Right.
and we do here on the Live Zone Primetime. We appreciate you joining us, whether you're watching on Fox Local or you're watching on fox5dc.com, Fox Local Mobile. However you're watching, we appreciate you joining us, especially because we are just days away from the holiday, the big holiday,
Yes.
the holiday getaway officially underway,
It
as
is,
we
yes.
say. Tony
I'm
P just
getting out
mentioned
of here.
that he is hitting the road tomorrow morning. But I do want to mention that today is the first full day of winter, and we're keeping an eye on a chance for a wintry mix.
Oh, good. Where's
a little
Mike?
winter weather right here in the nation's capital.
Mike
Mike's
Thomas.
busy. Mike's
Mike
busy.
Thomas.
He's going to have the full forecast coming up at the top of the hour. But right now, you're taking a look at Reagan National Airport. Not sure if that's where you're flying out of. But if you were hoping for a white Christmas,
not
keep
too
dreaming, unfortunately, around here, that wintry mix, not really going to have any major impact. I mentioned Mike Thomas will have more. We'll have more on that forecast coming up. But he says we could see that wintry mix overnight ahead of the morning commute. We're talking like 2 to 5 a.m. range type of a thing.
My flight's at 7.
But as the temperatures start to warm up, it will transition over to mostly rain. Temperatures in the 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Christmas Day looking a little above average as well. However, if you're traveling over the next few days, there could be some issues in the Northeast and out west. You'll also have a lot of company if you're planning on traveling over the next few days, because AAA estimates more than 122 million Americans will fly or drive more than 50 miles to their destination. That's up more than 2% from last year. Flight costs also up compared to last year. However, gas prices are down. The national average dipped below $3 a gallon for the first time in 4 years. Wow. So a lot of people hitting the roads.
Little relief, that's good.
What do they say?
Solid.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house
we go. Or to Uncle Tony's house you go.
Or
no.
to Uncle Tony's house.
Now, what's really fascinating is we look at some of the dynamics. I was trying to buy a little rental car from Hertz, a couple others, and I saw the prices skyrocket. I mean, I looked at it a couple weeks ago, it was reasonable. The last couple weeks, just exponentially going up. So I think that's a big pain point this year. So I'm going to try to get my uncle's car or rent one of mom's cars that she has.
It's always funny when I hear about Tony P driving, because I just so associate him here in the DMV with the Metro.
Well, there is no Metro in suburban Massachusetts. I wish there
understand.
was, my friend. But no, so I think the biggest cost hurdle, I think, is going to be things like rental cars or some of the lodging if you're in a hotel outside your family's house or if you don't have enough room in the house. I think that might be a problem. But when it comes to airfare, it looked okay for the last couple of days. Flying back's not too bad for folks. So if you leave after the 29th or so, 29th or 30th, you're in kind of the go zone there price-wise, especially leaving a little bit earlier in the morning or later at night. So kind of the dovetail of those kind of the more kind of the further end of the spectrum in terms of timing, you'll save some money there. But it's good to see gas going down. This is nice. This is a big issue for who folks that are driving to go see grandma or family.
Not
Big
here
one.
in D.C. I just want to make it crystal clear. You're not going to find those national average prices.
Yes, that's always a little,
right here in the immediate metro area. Things still a little more expensive, like they tend to be here in a major metropolitan area. In the meantime, though, Tony P., let's talk about some of the other stories that you were watching today, because it was another busy day, especially for the White House.
It was. And let me just say, this is the anniversary. I think we haven't had a rundown in 5 or 6 days. So
yeah, it's
welcome back to Rundown.
It's been a couple busy nights
I
here
know. I'm gonna
on the live Zone Primetime.
I'm going to go halfway down with my tie here, just to kind of go half serious, half not. We have a lot of serious headlines.
Understood.
And we are going to start, of course, at the White House, where President Trump unveiled plans today for a new class of Navy battleships named after himself, calling them 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. Speaking from Mar-a-Lago, we'll call it the Winter White House, flanked by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Navy Secretary John Phelan, the president announced the Trump-class vessels will anchor this Golden Fleet initiative. The ships will displace 30,000 to 40,000 tons and carry hypersonic missiles, electromagnetic rail guns, high-powered lasers, and nuclear-capable sea-launched cruise missiles. Say all that stuff 5 times fast. President Trump said construction will begin on 2 battleships with plans to quickly build 10 and eventually 20 to 25 total. The Trump administration also today opened an investigation into Brown University over their handling of the December 13th shooting that killed 2 students and injured 9 others. Of course, they're in our thoughts and prayers to this day as well. Education Secretary Linda McMahon's office is examining whether the school violated the Clery Act, which requires colleges to meet campus safety requirements to receive federal student aid. Investigators allege the university's surveillance system wasn't up to standards and emergency notifications were delayed. The department demanded Brown submit 5 years of security records by January 30th. Brown says it has 1,200 cameras, but they don't cover every hallway in its 250-plus on-campus buildings. Back to Washington, a federal judge ordered the Trump administration today to submit plans for returning migrants who were improperly deported. Judge Jennifer Hall Timmons found that hundreds of people were rushed onto deportation flights without proper legal proceedings, including asylum seekers and some with pending appeals. The Justice Department has 30 days to propose how it will locate and bring back those affected. The ruling is the first major legal setback for President Trump's aggressive deportation campaign in many months. Former President Bill Clinton's spokesman demanded today that the Justice Department release all remaining Epstein files, accusing the Trump administration of protecting someone or something. In a statement, Clinton spokesman Angel Urena called upon President Trump to direct Attorney General Pam Bondi to immediately release all materials mentioning or containing photos of President Clinton, including grand jury transcripts and interview notes. Quote-unquote, what the Justice Department has released so far and the manner in which it has done so makes one thing clear. Someone or something is being protected, Urena wrote. The FDA today approved the first once-daily weight loss pill drug today, giving Americans a cheaper alternative to injectable GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound. Ribociclib, made by Novo Nordisk, costs about $900 per month compared to $1,300 for injectables. Clinical trials showed patients lost an average of 15% of their body weight over 68 weeks. The pill must be taken on an empty stomach with plain water, and patients can't eat for 30 minutes afterwards. Analysts predict the oral medication could capture 20% of the weight loss drug market. In the business world as well today, Jim Beam announced it is pausing bourbon production for the first time in its 230-year history due to President Trump's reciprocal tariffs. The Kentucky distiller said Chinese retaliatory tariffs on American whiskey have made production unprofitable. CEO Albert Baladi said the company will furlough 300 workers at its Claremont facility and halt production for at least 90 days. The announcement sent shockwaves through Kentucky's bourbon industry, which employs 22,500 people statewide. Paramount updated its hostile takeover bid for Warner Bros. Discovery today, with Oracle chairman Larry Ellison providing an irrevocable personal guarantee of $40.4 billion of the equity financing for the offer. The move directly addresses Warner Bros.' broad concerns that Paramount's original bid had unreliable financing because it came from a revocable family trust. David Ellison, Larry's son and Paramount CEO, also agreed not to revoke the Ellison family trust or transfer its assets during the transaction. Paramount's $30 per share all-cash offer values the entire Warner Bros. Discovery company, including cable networks, at around $108 billion, competing against Netflix's $82.7 billion bid for just the studio and streaming assets. In the world of sports today, the Kansas City Chiefs announced plans to move from Arrowhead Stadium to a new $3 billion dome stadium in Kansas starting in 2029. The state-of-the-art facility will feature a retractable roof and seat 73,000 fans. Kansas offered $1.2 billion in taxpayer funding to lure the team across state lines, while Missouri refused to match the offer. Chiefs owner Clark Hunt called it the most difficult decision in our franchise's history, but said the new stadium will position the team for the next 50 years of success. Music legend Barry Manilow today revealed sadly he's been diagnosed with stage 2 lung cancer and will undergo treatment starting in January. The 82-year-old singer, who has never smoked, told People magazine that doctors discovered the cancer during a routine checkup. Manilow says he plans to continue performing and has shows scheduled through June. "I'm a fighter," quote unquote, he said. "This is just another obstacle and I am going to beat it." Absolutely love Barry Manilow. And finally, in the world of social media, because where else would I go? Wendy's Quarter Sips promotion is breaking the internet. The fast food chain is offering any soft drink for 25 cents through December 31st. And TikTok users are going wild, documenting their trips to score the deal. Videos showing people filling up their massive cups and trying exotic flavor combinations have racked up millions of views. One viral post shows someone filling a gallon jug. Wendy says the promotion has driven a 40% increase in foot traffic, proving that sometimes the simplest deals, coupled with social media and influencers, can drive sales and traffic. So I got to tell you, this stuff is really cool. The Quarter Sips,
Brilliant.
I like that.
I got to give them credit for it, but you know
Great
my
marketing.
feelings on the Quarter Zips, which
It's
a Tony P thing.
This
It's a Tony P
This is a
thing.
full zip, baby. This is how real men do
Listen,
it.
I
Full
want to
zip.
also go back to this thing,
Yes.
the Jim Beam. Okay, so
Please
I'm
do so.
sure they are. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Bourbon sales are also way down. When Mad Men came out and everybody started drinking old fashions, people my age, millennials, started drinking bourbon like it was
Right.
nobody's business.
Right.
Now, fewer and fewer people are drinking. We've done multiple stories
Right.
about that. People your generation
Yeah.
age not drinking
Generally
as much.
drinking.
They had overproduced so much bourbon. They still have so much on reserve
That's
that
true.
they were shutting down distilling at their main plant
Right.
in Kentucky. They have a few others around the country, and I think they're going to still make some there.
Yeah.
But
It
basically,
could be a marketing ploy with the tariff
I do
issue. It
think
could be kind of a public display. It's an
Yeah.
all-American brand.
Exactly.
A lot of their base probably does support President Trump. So I think that was one appeal to that potentially.
I do think there are multiple factors
Right.
here
Yeah, I mean,
as
it's
well.
a
In
lot
the
of legitimate
meantime,
tariff issues, but not with this one.
Let's talk about this other story because
Ooh.
$1.6 billion up for grabs tonight. The Powerball jackpot. There has been no winner since like September. It just keeps rolling over. The next drawing tonight at 11 o'clock
What's that time?
Just in case you're still
Where
looking
can I
for a
go?
last-minute gift idea for your old buddy, producer Chris.
Okay,
I could really...
well, let's go after the
I
show.
don't
We'll
ask,
go after the show,
I
we'll
don't
go.
ask for much, Tony P, but I could really use
So-
$1.6 billion.
Are we splitting it?
Cash, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Cash, yeah, you heard it here first, all right? The cash lump sum,
What is
like
it?
$736 million. I'm not greedy. I would be fine with that, too.
I would never work again. No, I'm kidding. No, but I love being here.
Yeah,
So you know what?
all right.
I would
you
say
guys
here.
would see literally a producer Chris-shaped hole in the wall. Let us know what you would do in the comment section.
That's the greatest
YouTube right
fantasy in
now.
the world,
if
isn't it?
If you win
Like-
the Powerball jackpot right before the new year, what are you buying? What's your first purchase? What are you doing with the money?
The greatest daydream is actually writing down what you would do with it. And I remember one time I used ChatGPT to if I made the money, where would I put my assets? And what I could and it gave me all these different ideas,
That's my
high
Tony
yield
P.
savings account. I don't mind it. I mean, I think it's a great thing to sometimes go off into fantasy land and enjoy and think, you know what? Maybe it is me. Maybe I am that one lucky person. Maybe. All the stars are going to align for me.
Maybe someday.
But I'm very blessed, though.
We're going to talk about something else Tony P loves
course.
coming up next. We're going to
Yes.
talk about golf. You may have seen the story about President Trump apparently making a play for DC's public
Yes.
golf course. We're going to talk all about it with some of the executive directors of the National Links Trust
Yes.
coming up next. We're going to
Absolutely.
leave you for a quick minute. We're going to leave you with this live picture from Reagan National Airport from our Fox 5 Skycam at the wharf. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to the live Zone Prime Time on this Monday night. From the Kennedy Center to the Institute of Peace, President Trump has been making his mark on the nation's capital. Now he apparently has his sights set on the city's golf courses. And as you can imagine, not everyone is thrilled. Earlier this fall, the administration sent a notice of default to the National Links Trust. That's the local public-private nonprofit that has overseen the city's 3 public golf courses since 2020. The trust took over the courses with the goal of renovating them while keeping them accessible and affordable. And critics say the default notice could be part of an effort to take over the courses for redevelopment. Now, Tony, you are a member of the National Links Trust, so this hits a little close to home for you.
It does. To provide full transparency, I serve as part of the auxiliary board with the 2 guests that we're going to be talking to just in about a few seconds. And for me, this is very personal, and I've been a part of some of the campaigns to keep the courses under the National Links Trust control. It is a very incredible organization that does wonderful things for the community, but I'm not going to talk too much. I'll be asking the questions of our next 2 guests who are members and founding members of the National Links Trust board that I am proud to be a part of. We have Mike McCartan, the co-founder of the National Links Trust, and Damian Cosby, the executive director of NLT and National Links Trust. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight to talk about what NLT has been doing and the whole process with the administration. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, appreciate it.
So let's kind of start at the beginning of this. Back in October, when this notice of default was sent to the National Links Trust, could you take us and the viewers through what that process was like? What were the interactions with the administration? And did they provide any evidence or detailed findings of any defaults in the default notice?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just walking back for, when we signed the lease 5 years ago with the National Park Service, we've been working hand in hand with NPS on a day-to-day basis. We've been, tracking all our projects, working through the compliance process to get to the start of the Rock Creek project, which we are under construction at right now. But in that day-to-day interaction, over 5 years, we've never had any issues with the Park Service in terms of, problems that would lead to such a thing as the default notice, which we just received. So when we got the notice, it was a shock. You would think that if there was a really, important issue, it would have popped up over the previous 5 years of working together, and it had not. The notice itself just mentioned a part of our lease in a very general way, and it didn't have any detail about exactly what we're in default of, how we could go about fixing that default, or a period of time in which to cure the default. So We've been stuck with very little information, and we've asked for more so we can understand what we can do to fix it, and haven't received anything back. So like I said, when you spend as much time as we have investing in these courses and trying to build for the future, to have a situation like this come up and not be given any reason really for why it's happening, it's incredibly frustrating.
Damian, could you detail what National Links Trust has meant to the DC golf community and community generally over the past 5 years since the lease was taken on by NLT? And what are some of the community impact programs that have been initiated, as well as what has been done on the golf side to keep the courses, updated and continuing to serve the golfers in this area?
Yeah, thanks, Tony. Really great question. And it's one of the reasons why I am so passionate about municipal golf and what municipal golf should be. And National Links Trust vision for municipal golf, not only in DC, but across the country, is the benefits it can have for the community. Mike and I love this game. Tony, I know you love this game.
Yep.
And what this game brings to people, how it brings people together, how it creates a sense of community. And, we believe in that ethos, and we believe that golf can be a force for good. So some of the programs we do, and one of the things I'm most proud of, is our Jack Vardaman Workforce Development Program that we started about 4 years ago. We all know golf is a billion-dollar industry, but there is a whole ecosystem that supports golf that traditionally, underserved communities, people of color, haven't really had access to. So every year at Langston Golf Course, which is right across the street from the new RFK site, we bring 30 interns there during the summer, and we teach them the business of golf. And it's interesting. We have an interview process for these young people, and a lot of times the potential interns get on the interview and they're like, well, I want to learn to be a better golfer. And we have to explain to them that this is not golf camp. This is business. So we teach them the business of golf. And not only are we teaching them job and life skills, we're also offering them pathways to scholarships. A few years ago, our first board secretary, Bancroft Gordon, who was a graduate of Howard University, passed away suddenly. So his friends and family helped start the Bancroft Gordon Scholarship Fund, where every year we give 2 of our outgoing senior scholarships for college. So we're really excited about that component. Again, teaching these young people job and life skills. And an additional part to our Jack Vardaman Workforce Development Program is our Youth Caddy program at Langston. We've had over 60 caddies working through that program in the last 4 years. And more importantly, not only do they learn how to deal with people, how to converse with people, how to network, when to be quiet, when to talk. Again, all those great things that golf can teach us. There's another pathway to scholarships there with our partners at the Western Golf Association and the Evans Scholarship. About 2 years ago, we had our first Evans Scholar come through Langston, a young lady who's in her second year at Rutgers right now. Wow. So through this game of golf, she received 4 years of tuition and housing at Rutgers University. And I think this year, I'm pretty positive this year we'll have at least 3 candidates up for scholarships that I'm very, very hopeful for. So those are just that's just the one main programming component that I'm really excited about. But we do tons of others. We do sustainability projects around Kingman Lake and the Anacostia River. We do free lesson clinics for people in our citizens in the community. And again, we think that's what municipal golf should stand for. It's not just about the game. It's about bringing community together. How can we impact the community through this game of golf? So we're really excited about those programs and hope to continue more in the future.
So guys, what has the response been since this story has kind of made its way out into the headlines?
Yeah, I feel like what we've seen is what Damien and I have lived. I mean, we both come from a municipal golf background. We both I grew up at East Potomac. I learned to play there. My dad took me there. It built a life in the game for me, an interest in golf that's carried me through to today. And what we've heard is just an outpouring of support from the community of people who share that story of how much municipal golf means to them and how keeping the courses affordable and accessible is really important. And that's our mission as a 501c3 nonprofit, is to preserve and protect affordable and accessible golf to benefit the community. So we just see a lot of people feeling like they have that same set of values in golf, that they want to make sure that stays the same into the future. And that doesn't mean that we can't make really significant investments in these properties to make them world-class facilities. It's just that the core component of what happens with that investment is trying to keep the communities together by keeping the courses affordable and accessible.
Now, just to kind of go over the results of the last 5 years from the golf perspective, some of the numbers show that traffic has increased by double at the courses in the DC area. There's been renovations to the greens and keeping the fairways nice and clean at all 3 courses. Some parts of the redesign a little bit, some touch-ups. But when you look at the overall kind of impact of what National Links Trust has done from a golf perspective, how do you measure that and think about, okay, is it about keeping it low in terms of cost, or is it about mainly just providing good conditions for the golfers?
I
think it's about. Yeah,
sorry, the both of you. Sorry, I didn't ask that right.
Go ahead, Mike.
No.
It's the both of you.
Well, I was going to say that it's both. What I think is important is these are places that people really care about, and I think what's great about National Links Trust is a community organization, nonprofit. It's actually a vehicle for the community to invest in the future of these properties. And so what we're doing is we're making improvements in the short term as we've taken over the last 5 years. But during that process, we've also been focused on working through longer term renovations on a bigger scale at each of the properties. And we've gotten through that process through a lot of community engagement, a a lot of compliance effort with the National Park Service to get to a point at which we're under construction at Rock Creek. And coming after that are links in East Potomac. So we're also building a future where we're making these courses we're bringing them up to the level that they really should be at and that can be sustained for the next 50 years.
And when you look at, so there's a lot of chatter about President Trump bringing in people like Tiger Woods, Tom Fazio as part of this bigger and better plan that they have talked about in comparison to National Links Trust. What are your thoughts on what could potentially happen if President Trump and his administration or his business partners would take over the courses? What would that mean in terms of the community golf impact, whether it be cost, affordability, and just the overall nature of municipal golf in DC? What would the impacts of that look like?
Want to go, Damien?
I think Mike said it best. At our core, our mission is affordability and accessibility. And we are purposeful in everything we do. And Mike mentioned we are a 501c3 nonprofit. And we purposely keep our fees as low as we possibly can to make sure everybody has access to this game. Whether you make six figures or you make $6 an hour. We wanted to be a resource for everyone in the community to come, whether you play the game, you've never played the game, you just want to come to some green space and be in a friendly, welcoming atmosphere. That's what we really, truly believe. And I would say this about any, whether it's the Trump administration or any other municipality that are looking to transform or renovate their golf courses. Municipal golf courses are for the people. They should be for everybody. They should be accessible and affordable to everybody in the community. So that would be my fear, no matter who is looking to renovate a facility. At its core, that should how it should be the thing you start with: affordability and accessibility, and then how can you engage the broader community.
So is there a future where, if this is the administration's plan, that you guys can work together, or is it seem like the default is going, or the threat of default is just an effort to kind of subvert and take over entirely?
Well, it's hard for us to say because we're not having much of a dialogue with the administration. That said, I do think there's an opportunity to work together. Obviously, the president has a background in golf that's very extensive. He also has the ability to cut red tape as the head of the government. We've been through a lot trying to get through the permitting process at our first course at Rock Creek. So cutting red tape would be extremely valuable. And then obviously there's an ability to raise funds and accelerate these projects on a timeline that we wouldn't have been able to do on our own. So there's a real opportunity to come together here and to see a vision through that preserves affordability and accessibility, but brings these courses up to a standard that would really be the envy of any city in the country or the world. And so I think that's what we'd like to say to the president, is that we're here to work together on this. And the opportunity to do this is really a once in a lifetime thing that in combination, the two of our organizations, could really do something very special.
Now, this is a question for both of you. So when we look at the vision of what will happen in the next 5-10 years for all three of these courses, an extensive vision laid out on the website for NLT in terms of the designs. But what do you see as the concrete vision for all these courses in the coming years in terms of how they look, how they feel, how they interact with the community? And what do you see as National Links Trust impact in those years ahead?
Well, I'll start with the community piece, and I'll let Mike take the architecture side. I believe it's an extension of some of the programming that I already mentioned. We start with affordability and accessibility. These places should be vibrant community assets where everybody in the community can come and feel welcome, whether you pick up a club or not. Whether you just want to come and enjoy some green space, we want you to come to these facilities. And we view the facilities in their current state as community centers. One of the special things about Langston, you can go over there on a Sunday afternoon and the entire grill room is filled with families watching the Commanders and having pancakes. really, and no, not a golf club in sight. And that's what we love about these facilities. And the same thing at East Potomac and soon to be at Rock Creek post renovation. So once these facilities are renovated, they are going to be just that: really well maintained, fun, welcoming, affordable, and accessible spaces. And we're gonna allow us to do more and more of that community-based program that I mentioned. We want to have a cohort of Jack Vardaman workforce development interns at Rock Creek post renovation. We want to have another cohort at East Potomac post renovation. We want to have junior caddy programs at all 3 locations. So we're not just putting off 2 or 3 Evans Scholars every year. We're putting off 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Evans Scholars every year, creating more pathways to college. Those are the type of things we want to do post renovation, and we're doing that now. We are doing that currently, and post renovation will just allow us to expand that work.
And from a golf course standpoint, we've already made kind of small scale investments in the courses that have really seen them improve from a conditioning standpoint, from removal of invasive material, views of the water, healthier forests, all of that. But as we look at the renovation projects, we're really going to transform these properties into world-class facilities. And what's great about that is we're really going back to their histories. Each of the courses have incredible histories from a golf perspective, whether it's from the designers of the course back in the 1920s or from the people who founded the course. And what we'll be doing is really informed by those histories, bring them up to a modern standard that really reflects how important the places are to the community.
Those are really good points. As someone who, again, transparency, I joined the auxiliary board because of that reason, especially at Langston Golf Course and the rich history that means for African American golf, and not just in D.C. but in the United States. So,
don't forget the best breakfast in D.C.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, look, those pancakes. I got to tell you, and even when I play bad, and Langston's a very hard course, by the way. It's a really tough layout. I just get excited to go there because of the pancakes and the people. Again, you mentioned, I'll close it out, that community part is so important about all 3 of these courses that bring the community together. So, and you both are at the front lines of all of it. So thank you so much, Mike McCartan, co-founder of National Links Trust, and Damian Cosby, executive director of the National Links Trust, for joining us here tonight, talking about this situation with the administration as well as the future for National Links Trust and the golf course that they serve. Thank you both for joining us tonight, and have a wonderful holiday season and Happy New Year as well.
You as well.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
Thanks, guys. And Tony, we talked about this when we did the Take It Two together last week.
Yes, we did.
I am as novice of a golfer as you can imagine. I literally bought my first set of clubs this year,
Right.
and the first course that I went and played at was Rock Creek. And part of the reason that was such a great place to go is because golf can seem like a very intimidating game to an outsider and to a beginner.
Yep.
And that was a course that no matter who I got paired with,
Yep.
whether I was just there by myself or whether I got paired with someone who played better than me, everyone there knew I was there to learn and wanted to help me learn.
Right.
They were forgiving. They understood that I was going to shank one out and have to maybe do a drop. And,
Right.
it was all, no one was there with eyes rolled or anything like that. They made me feel welcome, and they made me want to learn this game, as opposed to want to say, you know what, that was too intimidating and I don't want to go back.
Exactly.
So it means a lot to me for it to stay that accessible as well and affordable to everyone out there
and that's
who
National
wants
Links
to
Trust.
learn the game.
I mean, that's been the vision since the founding of it. And again, I know it's, in this day and age, talking about diversity is no longer a good thing. But you know what? No, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
And I think with the game of golf, it is so crucial because the game has been known for being very exclusive throughout its history. But there's so much history and so many wonderful black golfers that have transcended the game and have left their impact. Lee Elder being one of them. Of course, you have Tiger Woods, and there's so many others that you don't hear about that have made an impact on the game, have opened it up to so many communities that felt left out from this beautiful game that we all care about. And I think it's important. It ties business and commerce. It ties politics. And that's why it's important that we have spaces where everybody can learn. They don't have to pay a bunch of money to go play.
One of these days, Tony P is going to take me out for a lesson.
Anytime.
And I'm going to get a little better.
And it's going to be inviting. It's going to be fun. No, it's going to be no pressure.
He says that until he sees me drive one straight into.
I'll put my glasses on so you don't see my eye reactions.
Into the fairway 3 holes later. Listen. While golf clubs might be the perfect gift for Tony P, coming up next, we're going to talk about the perfect gifts for the gadget lover in your life. Steve Greenberg is going to join us live with some last-minute ideas coming up next. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and it is
we've got this.
Coming up on 9:38 on this Monday night. We are just days away. I mean, literal
hours.
Days away.
Look at that.
From Christmas. It means, unfortunately, that you are kind of running out of time when it comes to finding the perfect gift, but we have some help for you tonight.
Do we?
Holidays just around the corner. That means you need gift ideas. Steve Greenberg, the host of YouTube's Guess the Gadget game show, What the Heck Is That?, has some award-winning holiday gadget gift ideas, and he joins us live tonight. Steve, thank you so much for joining us and spending some time here in DC with the Live Zone Primetime.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I've got some for kids and for grown-ups, some gift ideas.
I love kind of gadgets. I'm so excited. I love the show, by the way. The show is fabulous. I think we're transcending this, the talk show environment. We're bringing it to YouTube now. You're doing it. I'm just so happy for you. Again, love it.
Yeah, I really wanted to create a platform so I could show new gadgets and kind of make it into a game show. So it's just that's what the heck is that is. So check it out if you go to gadgetgameshow.com, you can check it out.
So good. I got a lot of my gift ideas from you and learned how to do like the mechanics of what it means to actually go and look for a good gift. So thank you, my friend.
My pleasure. Oh, so first up,
Steve, before you get into your gift ideas, can I see your sweater? I mean, I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if you noticed Tony Paisan over here.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
yeah. This is from
that might beat me.
uglychristmassweater.com. I go there every year.
Wow.
This is a Grinch sweater. They've got lots of great stuff. uglychristmassweater.com. It's a must go to for every office party. You got to have a good Christmas sweater.
Looking good. Look at that. The big tree.
Easiest way to bribe me over is to do anything involving the Grinch. He's one of my favorite. Steve, can you talk to me about the chomp saw, though? Because when I saw this, I was fascinated.
this is really amazing on a lot of levels. First of all, these are all award winners. Let me bring this over first. So now I'm going to take this down here. This is the chomp saw. I'm going to show it to you right like that. And what's cool about it is this is actually a power tool that's safe for kids. I'm going to turn it on right here. And here's a piece of cardboard, an Amazon box, and it cuts it right like that.
Whoa.
Basically a kind of a saw router table for kids. And what's amazing about it is that it's basically a big hole punch. So when I'm putting my hand back down here, and when it's on, you can't get hair caught in it. You can't get your fingers in there. It's totally safe. Wow. And it actually won an award from Time Magazine and one of the best inventions of the year. And it's actually certified for kids as young as 3 years old. And you can cut like almost anything with this. I mean, it works on cardboard, felt, fabric, all sorts of stuff. And it gets kids pretty creative, so they can make things like this.
No way. Are you kidding me? Did you make those?
Really, you can unlock your creative juices get flowing with this.
Wow.
And anyone, I mean, you don't have to be a kid to come up with some pretty cool stuff with the chomp saw. And I think it's really genius, really a genius product.
I mean, it is. I wish this existed when I was a kid because, you know, I used to sit there and my grandfather and my father, I would watch them with their table saws, terrified, but also just, I could watch it for hours.
I felt the same way. And, you know, when a kid is given the power to do this, you really unleashes a whole bunch of creative juices that you get to really do some cool stuff. This is a STEM tool, of course. And like I said, it's literally safety certified for kids as young as 3 years old. So it's that safe. So you don't have to really worry about them hurting themselves with it. You don't have to really oversee them. It's really difficult to cause a problem. Your hair can't get caught up in it. Nothing like that. It's just basically a hole punch making those cuts.
That is fascinating. Again, like especially with the advent and the kind of the growth of trade schools for young people going into, you know, whether it be plumbing or welding. This is great to get kids interested in working with their hands again in this tech era where everything is YouTube or everything's on our phones. So, like, is this kind of a good way for kind of like play dates or activities as well, or for more single use?
No, I think I could see a bunch of kids getting together and playing with it. And also, like you said, it's non-screen fun. It's screen free. You're not looking at, you know, animation. It's hands-on. You're actually doing something. You're not looking at a TV or looking at a phone. I think it's so healthy for kids, and it's STEM learning, and again, it gets your creative juices going. When you realize that you can take shapes and create things, and there's a lot of freedom with this. You make beautiful circles with it. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. When you get the hang of it, you can really make, you know, almost anything. It's really a great tool for kids.
All right, Steve. So obviously this year has been dominated by talk of AI and robots. So can you talk to me a little bit about Hero?
Absolutely. Okay, and that last product, by the way, you could get at Target stores. This next one is Hero. Let me show you him right here. This is the little guy here. He comes in a box like this, so you have to build him. He's from ages 8 and up. I'd say for an 8-year-old, you know, mom and dad have to help out. If you're a 12-year-old, you can probably build it yourself. This is from a company called Thams and Cosmos, and it is he's a sound sensing robot. So once you put them together, you've got this little guy here, and he's got 3 microphones, and they're sound sensing. So he can then really figure out where things are. So once he's built, you can clap, and he will go towards you. If you click the castanets, he'll move towards it. It's really great. If you play some music, he'll dance to it. It's all about sound. And again, it's screen-free fun. You're not looking at this is really hands-on, another STEM product. He's available at Target stores. And he's also kind of cute, I think. So he's got this really cute look about him. And you see him as he walks on the video there. It's sort of like a crab spider kind of movement to it.
Wow.
So, Steve, obviously when it comes to some of these technology-based toys, there could be some concerns for parents. Is this like hooked up to like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything like that they have to worry about people hearing things?
All. These last 2 products I just showed you, which are both award winners, both are screen-free, Wi-Fi free, and are totally, self-contained, so you can feel really safe with your child playing with it. It's not, there's no issues with it at all. And that's a big, and I have to tell you, the number one question I get from parents though is, I have to get my kid a smart watch, or I have to get them a smartphone. What should I do? So that leads me into the next product, which is right over here.
Your Bark watch, I believe.
Exactly. So Bark makes a phone and a smart watch. And what's cool about them is, again, they're both award winners. And I've mentioned them in the past, but what's great about them now is that they've gotten so much smarter. So for example, the phone now has something called explicit image blocking. So if any inappropriate images should show up on that phone, they can't be saved, they can't be shared, they're automatically blocked. Another timely feature the phone now has, it modifies Spotify messages. So if a stranger tries to reach out to your child through the music app, parents get an alert. And the watch has gotten upgraded too. It has more memory, it has more battery life to it, and now it's got a bunch of colorful bands on it. So it really does make it more fun for kids to be creative. But if you're looking for a safe phone or a safe watch that's smart for your kids, where you as the parent have control over it, Bark's the way to go. Another nice thing is, as your child gets older, you can relinquish certain controls to the child. But in the beginning, you as the parent are monitoring everything. And then eventually you can hand it over so it kind of grows as they grow. But I think if you're thinking about getting your child a smartphone or a smartwatch, this is a great way to go.
Yeah, and I mean, I not even to joke about it, but you blew my mind a little bit, because it would never even occur to me that you would have to worry about somebody messaging your kid through Spotify, for example.
Exactly.
I didn't think that either.
I didn't even know that was a thing, and I think the Bark people at first didn't know it either, because the first round of Bark phones didn't have that. Then they realized that strangers were using these music apps to reach out to their kids, so then they created a new firewall for that problem. So I think there's, the people who make these safety devices, are learning as well, and I think Spotify is a perfect example of that. I didn't know that a stranger could reach out to a child through that, and now I do. So you need to be, alerted.
Are there certain things on this phone that can help a child go outside a little bit, kind of prevent them from overdoing the screen time, or is that something that's in the works at the moment?
Well, the only thing is that you as the parent can literally control when they can use Wi-Fi, when they can't use Wi-Fi, when they can get emails, when they can't. You really control the whole thing. So if you want them not to be on the phone while they're in school, you can shut it down while they're in school and have it kick on at 3:30 or whatever. You have a lot of power. You can also limit it to the only people who can call you are mom, dad, grandma, grandpa. That's it. So it gives you as the parent a lot of, you're in the driver's seat. You have a lot of control over what your child can or can't do with that phone.
That is, I think a lot of teachers and parents will appreciate that one as well.
I think it's a must-have if you have to get a smartphone for your kid.
Right.
So, Steve, Tony just got back from his first ever international trip, and this next one on your list would have been perfect for him.
Oh, come on, don't say that to me.
Had we known about it ahead of time.
Tony, you should have taken this with you. This big mistake. This is the Vasco Translator Q1, and this thing is amazing. I have to tell you, now we've switched over to adults here. This is for travelers or anyone who wants to speak a foreign language. And what's great about it, it's truly revolutionary in that not only does it use AI to do the translation, but if you give it permission, it will clone your voice. So instead of translating with a robotic voice, it'll use your voice. So for example, I will turn on and do it right now. So
oh my goodness.
Hold on, let me do this. What's the best Japanese restaurant in Washington, D.C.? Hold on, here we go. Washington, D.C. で一番美味しい日本食レストランはどこですか? That's me speaking Japanese. And trust me, I don't know how to speak Japanese.
I don't either.
It used my voice, my squeaky high voice, and it turned it into Japanese. So if I'm having a conversation with someone and I want to speak in Japanese, it will do it for me. And when they speak, it translates it back.
No.
It's truly amazing. And again, it's cloned my voice, which I think is so cool.
And it goes two ways. So the person, you can have the conversation, you know what's coming back to you and what you're giving out.
Exactly. It has an automatic conversation mode. So instead of like I have to push a button for the other person to speak and then push a button for me to
Right.
speak, once you have it going, it goes back and forth naturally. They say something, it translates it, then I say something, then it translates it, and it goes back and forth without you pushing button. It's all automatic. Another thing cool about this Vasco, which I think no other translator has, it has a free lifetime internet. So instead of paying a yearly fee or having to get a new SIM card or all that stuff, because it does ultimately use internet, this doesn't require that. It's already built into it, which I think is a huge.
Yeah, especially
advantage.
since you would need it while you were traveling and you were out and not necessarily.
So, and you know how you keep these things like in a suitcase, and all of a sudden I'm heading off to Japan. My SIM card is expired, or I have to re-up my internet. This is all lifetime internet. And you can find out more if you go to vasco-translator.com. But this is the Vasco Translator Q1.
Okay, so 2 quick follow-up questions on that. One, this is a separate device, not like an app you download to your phone, correct?
Correct. This is a self-contained device, which I think is kind of nice. It kind of separates it from your phone. And it does a really great job at it. I mean, there's so many other features that we haven't gone into. So it's got a screen on it. You can take a picture of a Japanese menu. It'll translate the menu for you. If you click on it, it will read the menu to you. Same thing with a street sign. So it'll translate words. You can text with it and it'll translate it. It does so many things. There's so much ingenuity built into this. And I can't tell you, as far as traveling go, Tony, you should have had this.
I could have used this. Now, let me ask you this. So certain languages have different dialects or different casual tone. I learned that when I was learning Spanish in college. Are there certain settings where it's okay, this is like Spanish, so Spanish more casual or formal language, or this is kind of more conversational across the board?
Well, I think it's conversational across the board, but it does. I saw with Chinese, there are several different versions of Chinese.
Right.
Pick the one you want. And like if you're in, you need Catalan because you're that area in Barcelona, it will do those different dialects as well. There's a lot of options here. It's really an amazing bit of technology. I mean, I was blown away by this.
I'm blown away by it.
It's part of it. Yeah.
I could have used it. I'm like crying inside now.
It's just fascinating how such a small. I mean, this reminds me of something out of Star Trek, like one of our viewers, West Virginia Ben, just said how what this can do in terms of just bringing the whole world together and breaking down those boundaries.
The first thing I thought of too is like, this is Star Trek come to life. This is the translator. This is exactly that.
All right, Steve, your last gift, perfect for either the book lover in your life, maybe the future writer in your life, or even maybe just somebody who appreciates a great gag gift.
Yeah, well, I think this is really a great gag gift. Let me show it to you here. This is from a company that's called bookbyanyone.com. And here are 2 books that I made, for example. And the way this works, it's super easy. You can make a nonfiction book or a fiction book. You basically go to the website, you answer a bunch of questions, give it as much information as you can, and then it comes up with a humorous, that's the hard part. Everybody knows how hard it is to be funny. It comes up with humorous titles, and then you pick the one you want, and then it writes a 200-page book. And it's not just like blah, blah, blah. It's actual words are in there. I mean, it's all pretty funny. And like, I gave it some information about me, and for example, it came up with gadget guy in a dairy land, because I told it I have issues with lactose. So this came up. God. I never even put the 2 together, and it came up with a funny thing. And then they came up with this fiction book, The Gadget Heist. Obviously, I'm about gadgets. So you can do hardcover or soft cover. And it's really funny. Like, for example, this is, you can get a bookmark. So this is my bookmark.
No way.
If it blinks or beeps, I probably own 12. That's the quote it puts here. Now, I didn't come up with that quote, but I wish I had.
I can see it on the website, stevegreenberg.tv. If it blinks or beeps, I probably have 12.
That's a great opening to the show.
I mean, that's so, I mean, it's such I can't get over how funny it is. What a great gift it would make for somebody. You obviously, you give it gives you a bunch of choices of covers and whatnot to go with. And it's priced pretty reasonably. The soft cover is like about $39. The hard cover is like $59. And you can get some funny wrapping paper for it. It comes with it, a sleeve. And again, bookbyanyone.com. So if you're really looking for that, like, tough to buy for gag gift, and trust me, once you have a book with your name on it and your picture on it, that book is not getting thrown out. It's going on a coffee table. They will have that book around with them forever. So I definitely think you should check it out.
Are there ways for the user, let's say they're doing it for themselves, or they really want to add some of that maybe personal flair? Can they go in and make some edits, or can they potentially kind of write some of it with the system, or is it all based on the system?
So here's where to give it. I think the book part itself, once you approve it, it's on its own. You can't get into it. They really keep hands off. But when it comes to choosing the cover and the title, it gives you lots to choose from. And you say, no, I don't want that. Then it gives you like 5 more to look at, and then 5 more to look at. And you keep until you pick, oh, that's pretty cute. I'll go with that one. It looks at all different things you've written about and tries to figure out where the angle is that you want to go. So the title, it comes up with them, but you pick the one you want. The cover, same thing. But ultimately, the book itself, you just kind of give it the okay, and 200 pages of copy gets sent to you as a hardcover or soft.
All right, Steve, we're down to our final minutes. If people have questions about you, these products, or they just want to know what the heck is that, can you tell them where they can go to learn more?
Absolutely. So if you love a good gadget and you like a game show, go to my Gadget Game Show at gadgetgameshow.com, gadgetgameshow.com. You click on the little red bar, it takes you to over 100 episodes. Each one reveals a cool gadget. And then you can also play along. I've got, people on the street trying to guess. I've got drag stars trying to guess. I've got a little bit of everything. So if you go on the website, you can check it out. So you go to gadgetgameshow.com. I think you put up the still already, but I brought my own in a shameless plug mode. And of course, if you want to check out me, go to stevegreenberg.tv. If you click on the blog, you can hear about all of these products and more.
All right, Steve Greenberg, thank you so much for spending some time with us and for sharing what are some absolutely incredible products.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully we'll do it again someday.
Please.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.
I need help with gift giving, and I'm learning.
I'll help you.
Yeah, baby.
You help me with the golf game, I'll help you with gas.
Hey, listen, I just need one piece of advice. How do you become a good gift giver? Because I'm trying to, I think complaints can help.
Follow him.
Yeah, follow me in the game show. I'll get you really good gift ideas.
You got it.
All right. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your night, Steve.
Take care.
Tony P, man, some of those products, absolutely incredible.
That translator I want to buy.
For
myself, I'll buy that for.
I know, right? I mean, it's so handy and just so incredible what technology is able to do these days. Tony, we're down to our final couple minutes of the show. Not sure if you saw this earlier today, but I did want to get it in case you didn't get a chance. That first trailer for Christopher Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey, out now. Let's take a little listen. Here, well, we've got we don't even really have time, but as you can imagine, yeah, we'll leave it up in the background. But this is one of those books that we probably all had to read back in the day in high school. And the last thing I probably wanted to do was watch a movie about this, and then fast forward to the year 2026. Christopher Nolan, Matt Damon, DC's own John Bernthal, Anne Hathaway. Who's the kid who plays Spider-Man? Tom Holland, and more all in this. You can check out the full trailer on YouTube now, but I'm sold, man. It looks real good.
I like this because finally, can we not have any musician biopics for the next year or two? Okay, we've had too many of them.
We'll take a little break from them.
Please.
We're down to the final 15 seconds. Thank you to everybody who joined us tonight on the Live Zone Prime Time. Thank you to everyone watching on Fox Local and on Fox 5 DC's YouTube page. We'll be back tomorrow night. Tony P will be back via Zoom because he's going to be home. Fox 5 News at 10 is coming up next. Have a great night.
Merry Christmas, everybody.